How does a massive tree trunk become a perfectly smooth sheet of plywood and eventually beautiful wooden products?
The journey begins in the forest, where carefully selected trees are harvested under controlled conditions before their enormous trunks enter the world of manufacturing.
Once prepared, the enormous trunk is carefully cut into usable sections, creating the raw logs that will eventually become plywood and wooden crafts. Now the enormous logs are loaded onto heavy transport equipment, beginning their journey from the forest toward the wood processing facility. With the logs secured, they leave the forest behind and travel toward a modern mill, where the real transformation is about to begin. At the mill, the massive logs finally arrive. Here, machines unload and organize them before the rough trunks enter the first processing stage.
The first major transformation happens here. Powerful debarking machines strip away the rough outer bark, exposing the clean wood hidden underneath.
After debarking, each log is precisely prepared and centered, creating the perfect shape for one of the most fascinating steps, the peeling process.
Now comes the remarkable part. The spinning log is slowly peeled into an incredibly thin, continuous sheet of natural wood veneer.
The continuous veneer is then precisely cut into large sheets, creating uniform layers that can be dried, sorted, and assembled. Freshly peeled veneer contains moisture, so controlled heat and airflow carefully dry the thin sheets before they can become strong plywood layers. Once dry, every veneer sheet is inspected and sorted, separating the strongest and cleanest layers from pieces needing further preparation. Next, a carefully controlled layer of adhesive is spread across the veneer, preparing each sheet to bond tightly with the layers around it. Layer by layer, the veneers are stacked with their grain directions alternating, creating the cross-layer structure that gives plywood its remarkable strength. Now the layers enter a powerful hot press, where intense pressure and controlled heat bond them into one strong, solid plywood panel. After pressing, the oversized panel is precisely trimmed, removing uneven edges and creating the clean rectangular shape of finished plywood. Powerful industrial sanding rollers gradually remove tiny imperfections, uneven fibers, and rough areas, leaving behind the smooth, consistent surface. Before these sheets can leave the production line, they undergo a careful final inspection. The surface, edges, and bonded layers are tenacious. The final finishing stage gives the plywood its refined appearance and helps protect the surface during handling and later use. The finished plywood now enters a completely different stage of its journey. Precision cutting machines can transform a flat sheet.
Cutting creates the basic shape, but craftsmanship begins with refinement. Here, precision tools carefully contour the edges.
Now the craft begins to develop its character. Using precision carving tools, the craftsman removes tiny amounts of feeders. After carving, every surface needs refinement. Fine sanding removes the smallest rough fibers while the final finish brings everything together. A carefully applied protective coating deepens the natural character of the wood and its. The final polish is where the craftsmanship truly comes alive. Careful polishing smooths the finished surface. And finally, the transformation is complete. What began as part of a massive tree has become a carefully immense. Alongside the finished crafts, the plywood itself is now ready, after passing through cut at patience. Before these products can leave the facility, they need protection. The plywood is securely wrapped, while delicate wooden crafts.
With everything protected and ready, the finished plywood and wooden crafts move into the shipping area. Each package is carefully loaded so the products. And now the journey that began with a giant tree finally reaches its next chapter. The finished plywood and hand masons. From a massive tree trunk to thin veneers, strong plywood, and beautifully crafted products, this journey shows